This is DayZ. We're here taking a look at the game on the Xbox Series X. It's been quite a while, so be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So this is the 1.18 update. And yeah, we used to cover DayZ basically with every update and everything like that. We would do a new review of the game and talk about it and take a look at things and see how it was going. And I think it's been about a year actually since I last did a DayZ review, as to say. And yeah, I used to cover DayZ all the time. I used to do patch notes and everything like that. And eventually the excitement just kind of wore out, I guess, and the interest died down a bit. But yeah, so I thought, hey, it's been a while. Let's dive back into the excitement of DayZ. Actually, does the dress give you more slots? It does. Yeah, it's an upgrade. Anyways, so again, your typical 4K 60 here. It's got lots of stutters, lots of performance problems, bugs. It's DayZ. Same as usual. The big difference is, though, now there's tons of new items, activities, and things for you to take part in. It's going to be hard to really dive into everything because I don't necessarily have the same specialty that I did back in the day where I was playing this constantly. But we'll be going over a lot of what DayZ is and what it has to offer. So, wow, that's actually a pretty fancy looking kind of... No, drop that. Drop it. So if you're not familiar with DayZ, you get random or semi-custom character. I just picked random. You get what you get. It's a game that you can play in the first-person perspective or the third. Some servers lock it down, so you get restricted. And what you can do, and there's different custom servers that people can pay for. I think the pricing for that has gotten better over time, but yeah, there's lots of different personalization things, and those custom servers, they have a lot of like predetermined like assets and stuff you can use now, or pre-made ones or whatever, on top of like the custom ones you could find and create online using little script things. And you can get some more like deathmatch type scenarios where you go in and do that kind of stuff for custom servers, which is interesting. But yeah, typically, it's an online multiplayer game where the real threats are the other people. Zombies are a little bit more deadly nowadays too, but the other people were the main threat back in the day. And while you can play with friends, it's like you have to find each other in the world, so you can't just like invite a buddy and go connect with them. You actually have to go out and find them out there. So it's a lot more in-depth, and it's a lot more mechanical of a game than I think many people would expect for this type of experience. And the servers is 60, but the online custom servers can go higher. Oh, that is a nice jacket. So, yeah, kind of neat, player size wise, if you're wondering. So lots of people, massive open worlds. I don't know how many kilometers squared it is. It's really large. And there's also a DLC world, which I did do a review of. It's called Livonia, so it's similar, but it's got more of a green kind of spring-esque vibe to it if you want another map to play on. Not too many servers these days for it, but people still do check out Livonia. It does seem like there are some options for playing it. So, as I was mentioning, it's a very technical game. Your food bars, your health bars, your sound, everything like that matters in this game. You can get cut and bleed to death, you can get shot and bleed to death. You have to deal with the elements, you have to deal with other people. There's so much you can eat, and you might get sick if you eat too much, and you gotta deal with the elements of like cool and warm and hot and that kind of stuff. And then you gotta drink water, and the water might make you sick, and there's illnesses, and there's building, and there's crafting, and there's survival. Like, you can, kind of take stuff from the environment in order to build things, and you can end up with like forts and fireplaces that can help you survive. As I mentioned, very, very technical. Because there's all these little small things, and you got to learn all these different elements of play, and there's tons of different weapons and tools and landmarks. There's castles to find, there's amusement parks, there's hidden secrets. I wouldn't really say too many hidden secrets, but there's lots for you to come across on your adventures across Chernarus here. And there's lots to see. There's lots to do. It's a dangerous world. I find the vanilla servers, which are the regular servers, to be a real pain. I mean, that's what we're playing now because I want to show off the regular DayZ experience. But yeah, it's a real pain to actually play the regular servers. You're constantly running out of food and water. It's really hard to balance, and I find it annoying. So you want to go for the custom servers. It'll be a lot more fun and enjoyable, at least in my opinion. And then, you know, like zombies, you gotta deal with zombies, and you can hit them in different ways, and you get different weapons to attack zombies, and you scavenge loot and stuff, and you try to survive. And there's a whole gardening system where you have to like create a plot of like dirt, and then you gotta kind of set your different plot areas, get seeds, and then you gotta water the seeds, and then stuff grows, and you might have food. And if you're lucky, you live long enough to create like a shelter that you can use, and you kind of set like gates and locks, and there's like raiding stuff, and your shoes can fall apart, and your feet will bleed, and if you're not using the right surfaces, you slide down a ladder or something, you can cut your hands if you don't have gloves, and then you can bleed there, and cut by zombies, cut by other people, cut emotionally. It's a very traumatizing sort of thing. It's not easy going. You're very likely going to die a whole bunch while playing it. There's no mercy. It doesn't teach you anything in the game. You just kind of get plopped down there, which is why my tips and tricks video is always very helpful. I do like that the environments have a little bit more depth to them. That's something they've actually done really good work with. I have hiking. Oh, hiking backpack. Yeah, that was something they improved a lot, was kind of doing like small adjustments to the in-world environments and stuff like that, and the different places you can go, but it still doesn't really run the best, if that makes sense. It's still like, yeah, it still chugs along. It's still got all the problems it had back in the day. It just has more features and stuff now, and there's like contamination clouds, and there's like different kinds of explosives now, a little bit more intense, more tools, more weapons to find, because you actually, like, again, going back to the mechanical aspect, you have to, like, literally reload, like, your guns. Like, you gotta take the magazine out, you gotta put the bullets in, you gotta put it back in your gun, and you gotta deal with, like, different types of equipment and scopes, and, oh wow, this guy had a whole chicken in there, that's crazy. Wow. And then you got to deal with getting, like, knocked out, and, kind of getting, like, injured, and your stuff can get ruined, everything can break down, like, all your, like, equipment and stuff can get shredded and broken, and other people will cause issues, because they're all trying to kill you, and you can get, like, broken bones, and you might find random events. I'm gonna get rid of the shades, I forgot, they make your vision look all weird. I always forget that. And then occasionally they do like events in the game too. There's like Halloween, Christmas stuff. Typically I take a look at them every once in a while. I can't believe there's a whole chicken here. Is this hen still edible? Oh, pristine female chicken. Wow, okay. That's something I can eat later if I prepare it. There's actually a lot of kind of good stuff here. Well, not lots of good stuff, but some decent items. I wonder if I can like go and kind of get these guys trapped in here. Okay, so that was not what I wanted. I wanted to get them all in here so I could, like, kind of run around. Yes, okay. Perfect. That worked out. All zombies gone? Alright, good. I love locking them in different places. A lot of strategy to how you do things. And like I said, there's other people you're going to have to deal with, other people you're going to have to kill. People that have guns and military equipment, and, it's never a friendly time. It's just, it's mostly death everywhere, I would say. Yeah, that is for sure. And there's, like, all these neat little, like, hotkey things you can do. There's mouse and keyboard support if you find the right server to do that. And then the inventory is like, it's better. I would say the inventory is probably as good as it's gonna get, right? Like, yeah, and there's all these, like, technical details of, like, zeroing stuff, and then drinking water is probably gonna make me sick. I do have multivitamins. Nah, I'm not gonna risk it at this point. We got an apple and stuff. We don't need to drink from there. You know what I mean? Like, why do that? Oh, and there's, like, throwing mechanics now, and climbing mechanics, and The loot economy is always changing. It's just a game that's like constantly evolving, which in itself is kind of, fascinating. The fact that we've gotten to a point where this, like, it launched really kind of like basically, like just in a basic state when it first came to the console. And we've seen it just, really evolve and change over the years, which has been fascinating. And then, a rededicated amount of effort to new content and updates, and it is amazing. Oh, Pipsy. Did they have Got Spite? Oh, Spite. I haven't had a Spite in so long. Got Spite. Yeah. So it's really neat to be back here. And there's so many buildings you can go in different cities, and then there's like endless open countrysides, and there's the odd animal or two you might find. You might come across like a bear, or you might come across, I don't know, deer and stuff like that. They're kind of rare. Mostly chickens. Mostly chickens. If I had like a knife or something, I could prepare the chicken with and have to cook it and stuff. Which is interesting. Fight this guy with a broom. And then there's the day-night cycle. And a stamina system and a sound system based on, like, how much noise you make in the environment when you're doing stuff. Really? The freaking broom didn't even kill that guy? Man, that broom's useless. You can see I'm really feeling the shock and the injury here. So much stuff that you have to look out for. Again, when I go to that element of, like, technical and mechanical, there's, like, every little thing you can think of that you have to, like, deal with and stuff. Like, I'm just throwing out, like, basically, notes on things of what you can do. Like, there's sewing and repairing and, like, crafting-wise, there's quite a few things you can actually kind of create along the way. Oh, a head torch. Nice. I got a battery I could have put in that, and I could use that to actually light the area up. Because it does look like it's getting a little darker. Yeah. And I think you have to, like, actually turn it on. There you go. Then when it gets dark out, I'll be able to see. So yeah, batteries, flashlights, flares, which are a lot more rare. Yeah, you don't really come across flares these days. You used to spawn with them. Even the allotment of things you spawn with nowadays is kind of like a little light and lackluster. Oh, you actually can't go in this building. That's fascinating. We're in one of the, I want to say it's like one of the southern kind of like beach areas, or maybe it's more on the side. I'm just trying to think of like the like I know where I am, but I'm just trying to think of the location of the map. Because after a while, you run around, you do so much crap, you learn, the layout of the land and the different spots you go on and stuff like that. And it's really a lot of this game is learning the technical details, getting a feel for things, getting lucky and gathering items and, stuff like that. And then eventually be able to survive longer and longer. But the custom servers, once again, really are kind of the smart place to go to. Oh, wow, okay, we can get the chicken thing going. Yeah, let's get in quarter this. And zombies, you fight them in different ways. Guns. Sound will attract enemies too, so if you're using a gun, you might accidentally attract some things that you don't want to attract. There's just so many. I guess I could have saved that later, because that's going to take up inventory space. And anyways, yeah, there's things you don't want to attract. And there's swimming, and, there's, like, weathering, too. It can get, like, rainy and then cold, and that can cause issues, and you need to get, like, warm, and... Oh, there's so much to this game. It is actually really impressive from a technical standpoint, just the quantity of things, and they keep updating it. And that's the problem, too, with doing the reviews on this one, is you gotta go back occasionally and take a look at things, because what was like, the state of the game at one point really doesn't become the state of the game in the long term. It does take a while before you see like massive changes, but it's definitely, I would say, something I've actually been almost neglecting, and I don't know why. I used to play just an absolute, ton of this game back in the day. We played so much DayZ here. There's a huge series if you want to, I don't know, maybe learn technical know-how or just kind of get a glimpse of things from back in the day. But Yeah, it was definitely fun. All kinds of hilarious adventures and hijinks. Come on, what are you doing? Get in here. Yeah, there you go. And then situations with others, like, obviously, we have yet to have... That's a tire iron. We've yet to have the fun of running across another player, but that really is something that happens a lot in this. Is just like there's not too many players in comparison to like the huge world. But oh, I'm actually cut. That is fascinating. But you know, there are still a lot of people, and any one person can be the end of you. Any individual will likely attack you. Like, the things I've noticed is it's very unlikely that you'll come across people that are like nice, if that makes sense. Like, people are not out here to be your friend or your pal. They're trying to survive too, and typically the way they survive is making sure that you don't survive. That's just a zombie. I thought that was somebody dangerous. Let's keep going. Except she's actually going to get some hits off on me, isn't she? Because I'm trying to get... I wonder if she'll be smart enough to get around here. There we go. Trying to see if there's any, like, guns or anything in this place. Sometimes you get lucky. Usually it's all rated, though. No luck for me today. Next level, maybe a little bit something. Probably not. Oh, and there's, like, all these other things, like speaker, megaphone stuff, and... Oh. Nice. Stab-proof vest. Awesome. That should help against the wounds of the zombies slapping me. There's all these, like, funny things to this one, too. Like, different kinds of falls can do different kinds of damage, and it could be the end of you. You could get an unlucky hit and get knocked out, and someone just comes and, like, you know, takes your stuff or causes worse problems for you. Takes your shoes, and... Yeah, this game is full of crazy quirks, bad scenarios, and hilariously awful hijinks that can go on. Like, it is quite an experience. Oh, and the zombies, they also have different, like, there's not different types of zombies, but there's, like, you know, zombies might have different types of clothing or armor on, and that's kind of a fun little thing that they do in this one, too. Is that kind of element of things. Like I said, you never really know what's going to happen or where things are going to go. Oh, it's a huge map. That's perfect. So you can see how massive this map is. Like, it's just... oh, it doesn't really show it off well. You know, we're, like, down here, and there's, like, this huge, like, it is just massive, right? Like, it just goes on and on and on. Like myself, because there's honestly so much to talk about in this game. I always wonder if I get, like... all the key points too, because it's like, holy, how do you cover everything? But I think I've gotten almost all the big spots. Like, you know, it's very technical, it's very mechanical, it's buggy, and, you know, performance issues, and that's, I think, a lot of the charm for a lot of people is just the quirkiness of it. And I don't know if it's like a console thing or a server thing. I think it's actually probably mostly a bit of a server thing at this point. But it never really runs well, which is kind of funny. I'd say it runs way better on the Series X, obviously, as it's the first time I covered it. It definitely did, but, like, yeah, it's still not a perfect experience. That is for sure, and I don't think it ever will be. Who knows? We'll have to wait till the even next Xbox console to see what we get there, but... No, it's a survival game, you know. They keep supporting it, which is great. It's something I'll probably come back to for other miscellaneous things here or there, because it's like, you know, the fun of DayZ doesn't really end, you know. But it also isn't for everyone, right? Like, it's hardcore, it's a lot of work, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't hold your hand, and it's not easy going, and it's very rough to deal with things, but... There can be fun, there can be excitement, there can be neat challenges. Like, honestly, you never know what you're gonna come across in DayZ, or who you're gonna have to face, or what weird things are gonna go on. Most of the time, other people are gonna be causing problems for you. Today, it's the zombies, but typically it's other people. You'll get some good stuff going on, and then, hey-oh, dude will destroy you.